What's going on, guys? This is Javier with Boulder Media Radio. I'm your host, coming from you from Boulder Media Solutions, and we are on another episode. I forgot what episode we're. I think we're at episode 8, I believe. We're on another episode for Boulder Media Radio on some more content and information on just exploding and taking your business to the next level. So I hope that you guys have had a great week. Last week, I think on Friday, I did a webcast that was basically talking about storytelling, and it's something that I already did, but it was inspired by this new podcast that I am following as we speak. I believe the podcast, I don't remember what the podcast is called, but the podcast is pretty sweet. Anyways, what I want to do is I want to kind of talk to you more about some stuff that are going on right now with our just with ourselves, with myself. So what I want you guys to know is whenever we have these whenever I have these topics that are going on about just different business strategies, how to improve, things to not do, how to explode your business in certain ways, whether it's in social media, different ways of marketing. Whatever the case is, some of my stuff is also influenced by, who I listen to in audiobooks or who I'm watching on YouTube videos for inspiration. And I do this because I need things to inspire me. I need things to trigger certain aspects of myself. But more importantly, I do it because it's knowledge that I want to have. I want to get better. I want to become a great coach, become a great business coach, become a great consultant. But more importantly, I want to be helpful to my clients. So I want to make sure that I'm giving them the most relevant and most informative information out there. And so when I start speaking and start talking about different types of topics during Boulder Media Radio. A lot of it is going to be inspired by current events, and sometimes it's not. It's going to be something that happened to me in the past. So, with that said, always keep an open mind on our business approach. So, like right now, I'm reading. If you guys are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, he's definitely one of my favorite. I guess you could almost say motivational speakers, business activists. I mean, the guy is he's innovative in a way, but he's more, I guess the right word to say is he's more of a person that does not take care of what other people think. He really speaks his passion, and a lot of people don't do that. I'm currently listening to an audiobook. I typically do audiobooks because I have a hard time retaining information reading. And so usually, if I'm reading like big books and whatever, I don't really grasp all the knowledge, all the information, because I'm dyslexic. And so audiobooks is kind of what I do. So what I do is I'll work out, or I'll do something that's more of a mundane type of stuff and listen to audiobooks. Or if I'm driving to a meeting with a client or to a networking event, I'll always listen to audiobooks. That way my mind is always getting trained. It's always on top of stuff. So right now I'm listening to an audiobook called Crush It, by Gary Vaynerchuk, and I've only listened to about maybe 10 minutes of it so far, and the book is great. I will say that it's really cool to do audiobooks, efficiency, but also if the author is really good as far as getting off topic of the book and talking about personal events and and stuff like that, that tends to really just really help. And so today's topic that we have is, who are you trying to keep up with? That's what our topic is. And so here's the thing. I think it goes hand in hand. This was kind of coincidental, to be honest, because I literally just started this audiobook, is that is Gary Vaynerchuk really emphasizes not keeping up with the Joneses, kind of carving out your path, what your passion is, and that sort of stuff. And so I want to really emphasize that side of our topic is are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Who are you trying to keep up with? At the end of the day, understand that your business, it's basically like golf, okay? Yes, you have competition, against other players and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that golf match is you against that field, Okay, not your competition, the actual, field where you are playing golf. You against nature. That's it. That's what golf is. And that is one of the purest forms of competition. In all reality, playing golf is one of the purest forms of competition. And I truly believe the same thing with running your business. I believe that running a business is one of the purest forms of competition, because yes, you have outside factors. You have competitors. You have employees. You have customers. You have technology. You have all these things that play a factor in your business, whether you're going to succeed or fail. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's you against nature. It's you against the resistance of business. Does that sort of make sense? And what you need to understand is that your business is going to grow and succeed not based off of what your competition does, what other people are doing. It's going to be based off of how you react to what you are given. Okay? And this is why you shouldn't be trying to keep up with other people. You shouldn't be trying to keep up with other businesses. Don't play the keep-up game, because sometimes playing that keep-up game is going to cost you a lot of money and maybe even put you under. Okay? And so that's what I want to really emphasize, is that I don't really believe in keeping up with my competitors. When I was running my brick and mortar business, and even now running my digital agency, I watch what people are doing, but I don't make it dictate what my actions are. Does that sort of make sense? I'll watch in the rear mirror to kind of see what's going on, but I'll keep going forward. I'll keep focused on what I'm trying to get to, what my goal is, what my prize is, and that sort of stuff. So keep in mind that running a business, it's not about what your competition is. It's how you react to the environment that you're currently in, okay? What your environment is, all right? So don't try to be someone you're not, all right? And that is something that's really, really hard to actually deal with in today's society. Social media, it's literally like it's the double-edged sword, okay? Social media is great, and then other times social media is the worst thing that could ever happen to your business. Or to yourself. Social media is great to explode, okay? To get credibility, to take your business to the next level, to help you start, promoting and showing your brand, to let people know about what you have to offer, what your knowledge is, all that stuff. And on the flip side, social media could be the biggest crutch, because what happens is that you start seeing people's successes, and you think that they just achieved overnight success. And that's not true. You didn't see, and I've said this before multiple times in my webcasts and my podcasts. I've said this multiple times, that you can't watch what other people are doing. You've got to pay attention to you, okay? And social media doesn't actually show the entire journey of that person's overnight success. Okay, and when I say overnight, sarcasm. All right, I hope you guys understand that. Like, you got to understand that part, guys. So don't try to be someone you're not. Okay, I mean, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, I'm very I wear my emotions on my sleeves. I have a hard time hiding my emotions, if you will. I am very transparent. I'm quite authentic. I'll say how I see it, okay? If I think something sucks, I'm going to say that it sucks. If I think something is amazing and it's like the best thing since sliced bread, I'm definitely going to express that as well too. All right. Other parts about myself is that I get very attached to working with clients. All right. Maybe sometimes a little too attached, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gain some. I'm trying to help these customers out, and if they're not getting the results that I want them to get, I get upset, okay? If they're not happy with something, it affects me, okay? And that is a flaw, all right? To a degree, I think that's a flaw. I'm not saying that we should be robotic and not listen to people, all right? More stuff about myself. I tend to be very simple, pragmatic. very realistic. Okay, it's black and blue. This is how it is. This is what we're doing. And a lot of people aren't like that, and especially in this world where you've got to almost fit just right with everybody else to make sure that you're not falling behind. I don't believe that. I really believe in being authentic. I really believe in being different in your approach in business. I believe in not copying what other people do, but rather finding a way to carve out your niche and really being unique and different. That's how I've done it. Okay, I built my business a little differently than what other people did when I was running my brick and mortar. I didn't do it the normal way of how others do it. Other people also grew their business to where they had 200, 250, 300 clients in their studio and making 650, 750, a million a year, having multiple locations. I didn't want that. Okay, and so the reason I say all this stuff is that in order for you to really start knowing your business and knowing more about you got to focus on you, and you can't try to be someone else. Don't try to change your ways, okay? You might want to adapt. That's different. Adapting and then, say, changing are two different things. Adapting is figuring out what you're doing. This ain't the best strategy, so maybe we should adapt a little bit, but we still have, the core pieces of what we believe in. Does that sort of make sense? That's what you want to think about, all right? The next thing, number 2, is play the long game. And this is the tough part that I see a lot of people not doing in business at all, okay? They want results 10 days ago, and as a marketing consultant, as an expert in this field, that drives me up the wall, okay? You can't expect results yesterday. You can't expect results, 2 hours from now. You have to you have to understand that you're playing the long game. Business are for the ones that are here for the long game. They're not here for tomorrow. They're here for 10 years from now. And going back to my analogy with golf, it's the same concept, okay? Like, you've got to play the entire game. You got to have a long game, you got to have a mid game, and you got to have a short game. You can't just have a long game. You can't pull Happy Gilmore, drive it 500 yards, and get a hole in one. Okay, you got to play the entire game. You got to be in it for the long game. And most businesses don't have that. Don't have that instilled in their culture. And the reason it's not instilled in their culture, it's because of the owner. Because you are the identity of that company. You drive everything. You are the reason that people are short-sighted. You are the reason that people are far-sighted. You're the reason why the company breathes. So if you have employees, okay, and you're on your employees, like, well, this needed to be done yesterday. This needed to be done yesterday. And we can't be spending this kind of money, and we can't be doing this. You're not in it for the long game. And so you need to have a strategy. You need to have a plan. You need to have something that is getting you and setting you up for success. Hey, what's up, Jason? I mean, I think we're all guilty of making that mistake. And so, how do you play the long game? This is all going to be personal preference, guys. It's going to be different from everybody. It's going to be different from me. It's going to be different from everybody else. For myself, what helped me play the long game is when I realized is when SEO, search engine optimization, was becoming a big thing. Okay, and it was like what you needed to do to get your website up and ranked, get natural searches, all that stuff. All right. And it was explained to me by the person that was doing my marketing for SEO, because that's not really my specialty. Like, I understand basic things of SEO, how it works, all that stuff. But what I don't do is actually like do all the strategy of like getting all the SEO going. Point being is this, guys, is it was really explained to me at an early stage that, hey, this is like a 6 to 12 month investment. And you're not going to see a lot of returns and results immediately. If you do, that's great. He's like, it's going to be about playing the long game. All right. And when that was explained to me on why and how you want to do this, it made sense. And here's the thing, guys. When you're playing the long game, like, think about it. How would you feel as a local consumer in your local community, okay, if you saw a business literally rise overnight and have hundreds, if not thousands of customers overnight? Would you trust the company? Would you be a little skeptical? How would you feel about that? Don't you want that company to earn your business? Like, yes, you want the company to succeed. Yes, you want to go eat there or go shop there or whatever it is. Yes, you want to spend your hard-earned dollars in those locations. But don't you want to see these companies kind of like work their way up and you're like, wow. And then you start building trust with them, right? Most people don't want to do business with people that have been around for a short amount of time. Don't believe me? Okay. All right. Tell you what, whenever a new company opens immediately, I want you to spend as much money there as possible. You're not really inclined to do that, okay? So what I'm getting to is that when a company plays the long game, you're part of that vision, that knowledge, and what happens is that you will frequent at that business, okay? I live in a small community, lots of local restaurants. My father-in-law owns a local restaurant in Colorado City. It's the longest-standing restaurant in the Greenhorn Valley, which is something to speak for. It's been open for going on 17 years, right? It was not what it was 17 years ago. He had to earn it, and he had to show his customers and his clients, his regulars, that they were there for the community. He now has customers, I kid you not, that drive as far as Cheyenne, Wyoming, or as far south as Santa Fe, New Mexico, on road trips or vacation trips, and they purposely will stop at Max's place to get breakfast and make sure they're within the hours so that they can go eat there. I kid you not when I say that, okay? Max's place is playing the long game. They're not playing the short game. They're not playing, I hope we can pay our bills tomorrow. I hope we can pay our employees tomorrow. They're playing the long game. A lot of companies have short-sightedness, and you can't do that, okay? Again, you got to sit down, and you got to look at what you want your business to achieve. What do you want to get out of your business? What kind of impact do you want to have in your community? What kind of impact do you want to have in your industry or in your niche? What do you want to provide? How do you want to service? Like, all these things. Think about it. And when I realized that I needed to change my approach for the long game is, like I said, when SEO was kind of like at its height, if you will. And so at that point, I planned everything for strategy for growth in the future. So if I got leads, they got put in an email campaign where they would get nurtured. Okay. If I did events, I would reach out to these people continuously, phone or email, whatever. If I did say like events in our studio for the local community for like our students, our clients, I did that to get revenue, but also to nurture our clients, because then they would be more inclined to want to spend more money in our business, to be a part of our culture. Does that sort of make sense? So all these things add up. This is why I'm willing to do any kind of what I call as a roadshow training on digital marketing. Okay, I'll do it in my local community for free. Why will I do it for free? Because I can nurture you, I can gain your trust, I can show you what we are about, and I can show how to grow your business organically, naturally, as well as using paid traffic. Okay, so I run my business for the long haul. All right, and so you too have to do the same thing too. So don't try to keep up with other people. Don't be short-sighted. All right. Number 3, don't focus on others. I know we've kind of been mentioning this, but the one thing I want to kind of hone on this is head down, feet moving. I got that phrase from this book that I'm not saying I'm reading, but it's a training book. It's called Jim Wendler's 5-3-1 Forever. I've really, over the past 2 to 3 years, have gotten into weightlifting, like a lot more weightlifting than ever before, where I'm lifting heavier. I'm doing basically the 4 to 5 major lifts. Your deadlifts, your squats, your bench press, your overhead press. If you want to consider rows as a major lift, you can. But those are kind of the four major lifts that this program actually does. Anyways, reading through the book, I was kind of learning the culture of the book, the approach of Jim Wendler's training and whatnot. And so in one of the section of the books, he talks about his athletes. He's actually a football coach for a high school, all right, in either Iowa or Ohio. It's a small community. And so doesn't have the best athletes in that school, does not have the best athletes. However, he does have the most conditioned and strongest athletes probably than any other teams in the community. It's a big difference. Sometimes some athletes are just freaks of nature and they're natural. Other times, they're just, your normal Joes. And that's where your preparation comes in hand. Anyways, going back to the head down, feet moving, he talks about that. He says that I don't want my athletes to worry about everybody else, what program they're doing, how they're training, what their buddy is lifting, what so-and-so is doing, and none of that. He writes a program specific for every single athlete. All those athletes, some of them are growing and increasing their weight, as far, not like size. Well, size, yes, but as far as what they're like, squatting or deadlifting or bench pressing or overhead pressing, and others just stay stagnant. But he says don't worry about everybody else and focus on what you're doing. He's like, I want you to have your head down and keep your feet moving. Follow the program, stick to the system, do exactly what we're supposed to do, and you'll get to where the destination is. And that is so true in life. That is so true in business. That is true in fitness. That is true in anything. Head down, feet moving. And I do that a lot, okay? I used to do Spartan races, and there were moments where I was running, and I was done, mentally fried. Head down, feet moving. Just kept going. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't even look ahead of me because all I wanted to do was take that next step, and that next step, and that next step, and that next step. And as you continue to take that next step, you find out eventually you're at the finish line. The beauty about that is that you don't get sidetracked with what's going on around you, the hoopla and all the other stuff. What you do get, though, is you get to find out what you are made of inside, like who you are, what you're able to do, that sort of stuff. This is why trying to keep up with other people isn't going to work. I'm not saying that if you're a top athlete, look at the person that's ahead of you and run after them. I'm not implying that. I'm implying that sometimes in the game of life, in the game of business, we can't try to focus on keeping up with everybody else. We've got to focus on us. We are literally playing against the field, but not the field of competition. It's you and the field of business. That's it. Golf, it's you and Mother Nature. It's the course. That's it. Unlike tennis, which I find is a pure sport because it's 1-on-1, and that's it. You against the other person. That is it. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why I love tennis. But going back to the whole, thing about keeping your head down, feet forward, is as you grow, as you mentally grow, as you, physically grow, spiritually and emotionally grow in your business, it's the ones that really don't put their head up. And so going back to Gary Vaynerchuk, he, again, a great inspiration of mine, he started let me rephrase that. He started working at his dad's liquor store, I think he said in 1998 or something like that, 99. And it was about a $4 million company. And in about 8 years, he took it from $4 million to $50 million. He basically found his niche where he got really, really good at understanding wine pairings and wine and how to, the descriptions and stuff like that. To the point where he built his business off of digital marketing, like emails and stuff like that. That's whenever open rates were like huge in emails and whatnot. But he built his business off of email building from there, as well as other aspects of just digital marketing, like buying search engine terms or buying keyword terms. All that stuff. With that said, he took it from 4 million to 50 million, but that was over the course of roughly 7, 8, 9 years. Okay, in that span, he did not tell people how to market. he didn't share all this information. He wasn't the big, loud, bravado type of voice that he is today. Why? Because he hasn't done jack. What did he do? He kept his eye forward, down, and kept walking. He stuck to the path. He did exactly what he needed to do to achieve his success. And that is what you need to understand, is that if you focus on keeping up with the Joneses, if you focus on seeing what other people are doing, you're going to miss out on opportunities, okay? And so I'm going to end it with this one last piece, and then we'll call this show for the day. Is that so I had a meeting yesterday with my father-in-law and his 2 top employees and his staff, and so we did a quick little interview and stuff, and they have an ad going, and so the ad was I'm not going to use the names, but it's to a local magazine that goes to travelers, okay, and this traveler magazine basically is designed to get travelers to come to local businesses in the community. Max's Place is the longest standing restaurant in the valley, which is really cool. Their ad didn't really show that they're a restaurant, and didn't really show what Max's Place is all about. Max's Place is about eating good food, families and friends getting together, laughing and smiling. The staff, the wait staff, having these, I'm not going to say intimate conversations, but meaningful conversations with people in the community. And everyone just, it's a community within the community. It's a great place to be, right? Their ad didn't show any of that. It didn't let us know if it was a restaurant. Yes, I could figure it out after looking at it for a few minutes, but it doesn't, like, at a quick glance, because think about it, when you're in a magazine with other things, you're flipping through it, and you're just kind of seeing, nothing's catching your attention. But you know what catches people's attention? People smiling. People smiling at a restaurant eating good food. You know what else catches his attention? Is people smiling, eating at a restaurant, getting some good food, and then, like, basically having information that, hey, you are a restaurant, okay? And so my point being is that I recreated their ad for them, okay? And it was different from what everyone else in that magazine was doing. And it's not that what I'm trying to say is what they did was wrong or anything like that. It's just that they just kind of were following suit with what they've always had. If you're going to be spending good money on an ad, you want to make sure that you're getting some decent results out of it. That is going to be, it's going to return some money in your investments, okay? So, long story short, what we were trying to do is not keep up with the Joneses on this, okay? Like what everyone else was doing. We were trying to be unique and different with this approach, with this new ad. So I put it together, and now I am not an ad designer, okay? I want you to understand that I do not specialize in ad design. I had less than 6 hours to turn something around and make it look somewhat better, okay? And I did. I did that, okay? Can someone else design an ad better than me? Yes. All right? They can totally design an ad better than me, and I am fine with that. I would have actually hired it out had I had, say, 2 or 3 days. But we had end of day yesterday to get it done, okay? So what I do, I had to buckle down, find some images, and it came out pretty well, okay? It shows exactly what they are, what Max's Place stands for. They offer some food. They have a special. If you show the ad, you get free drinks for the table. Like, it's really, really cool. To the point, it's modern, all right? Don't always try to be like everyone else. All right, just be unique, be different, be who you are and what you're about, what you stand for. Okay, so that is the end of episode 8 with Boulder Media Radio. Again, I'm your host, Javier from Boulder Media Solutions. If you guys have any questions, comments about business, about how to improve, how to take your business to the next level, if you are wanting to help as far as lead generation, how to put a strategy together for your marketing, any of those things, comment below, send me a message. I am here to help you. I'm even happy to have a 30-minute consultation call with you and have a strategy discussion on setting up some very simple strategies to take the business to the next level, okay? And the reason I do this is because I want to help, all right? I want to really, really help, but you have to want it. All right, so if you've listened this far into our webcast and podcast, thank you. If you have not, you missed out, because I'm willing to sit down and have a chat with you and learn more about what your challenges are and what solutions we can put together for you. This is why I named our company Boulder Media Solutions. I'm trying to, and I will be providing a solution that is bold, unique, and different for your company. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you guys later.